Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is Richard Moglen. Welcome back to the channel. And today I thought I'd talk about AMAT, or Applied Materials Inc., which is my stock of the week, and I'll discuss its price action, how strong it's been, potential areas of support, and potential buy points, as well as go through kind of the fundamentals, the growth numbers here in MarketSmith, as well as going to its website and a few different articles and discussing the overall chip shortage that we're experiencing in 2021 and how that could affect this company and the stock price. And just overall big picture, how strong it's been the past few days really indicates to me that this could be a potential leader going forward along with the rest of the semiconductor group. And that's because just this type of relative strength indicates that institutions are really supporting the stock versus a lot of other growth stocks where if we go to, let's say, NEO, which was a former leader in 2020, this is well off its all-time highs here. It's back near its 200-day moving average. And just clearly looking at the RS line, which compares the stock's price to the overall market, you can see that this is actually in a downtrend, while if we go to AMAT, both its price and relative strength line are into new all-time highs. So just that kind of simple fact here shows to me that institutions are either supporting the stock or even buying more at this point, and the price action itself means a new trend is underway. So starting this off, you can see that this is in one of the top industry groups, which is something I always like to consider. And many of the market leaders are going to be within an overall strong theme. And if we just go over to SMH, the semiconductor ETF, you can see that overall this has been trending well in 2020 and based nicely and is actually really moving up the right-hand side quickly, retaking 250 on this past Friday. And throughout this past week, it's been very strong, retaking the 50 before the overall QQQ, which kind of represents the overall NASDAQ. So just that simple fact that it's within a strong industry group, that just adds to the potential and just increases the probability that this could be a big winner. So going back to AMAT, now we've talked about the industry group, that's very strong. That's always kind of an added bonus. You can see that the earnings and sales have been very strong and very consistent the past few quarters. Most recently, earnings up 42%, sales up 24%, and the annual estimates for 2021 are up 44% over the annual earnings from 2020, and there's a further increase in 2022 of 9%, and the most recent revisions for both 2021 and 2022 are up. So this kind of indicates to me that basically there's a lot of growth expected from analysts regarding this company, which should translate well over to the stock's price. And overall, the earnings rating, the EPS rating here is a strong 94 out of 100. That's very, very good. Group RS rating A, SMR rating is an A, accumulation distribution A+, and the overall comms rating is a 99. So basically, everything I hope to see here comes true in terms of the IBD ratings. A nice increase in fund ownership that just adds conviction as well. And two high-quality funds investing in this company is another added bonus. If we go over to a weekly chart, we can see that the return equity is a 41%, which puts it kind of in the upper tier of companies. Anywhere from 25 to 50% is really superior return equity. That's very, very strong. Up-down volume ratio 1.7, that's great as well. And you can see that the EPS growth rate is 24%. That's decent. And recently, you can see an acceleration here in these quarterly earnings and the sales as well, a nice increasing trend. And looking at the annual earnings, you can see from 2017 to 2020, we're kind of stuck in this $3 to $4 range, going back and forth. But then in 2021, we're supposed to experience a breakout year, suddenly breaking out of this range all the way up to $6 a share. And that indicates to me that potentially the price action will also experience a very strong uptrend to follow this earnings nice growth here. So in terms of the MarketSmith growth metrics, a very strong stock with nice institutional sponsorship and high quality funds in there as well. And going over to Applied Materials website, you can see they're involved in these different spaces here. I'm not an expert on chips, but if you want to learn a little bit more about the company, you can go over here. You can go down to the investors relations page, listen to its previous calls. Definitely, if you're more into the fundamental research versus the technical analysis and price action like I am, go ahead and do all that due diligence. It can only kind of help you gain a better, kind of bigger picture view of this company. And going over to these different articles, this one talks about how they've got their 2021 investor meeting this coming Tuesday on April 6th. So that will be a big deal and could definitely kind of lead to some volatility in the price action depending on how institutions receive this information. Also, this page right here on Seeking Alpha discusses the chip shortage a little bit. It discusses AMAT down here, which was up 12% that week, and overall kind of implications here, as well as this article from investors.com on kind of the overall chip shortage and how that will impact other industries such as the automobile industry, PC, consumer electronics. But down here, you can see that they actually discuss AMAT a little bit because this semiconductor stock analyst, Thomas Diffley, is actually bullish on this company because of the expected growth in this space. So I thought that was interesting. Definitely go ahead and give this a read. All these articles, as well as the website, will be linked below in the description. So with kind of the background and fundamental growth numbers covered, let's go ahead and talk about the price action a little bit more in depth. So overall, it is moving out of a stage 2 base here. Ideally, this would be a stage 1, but you could kind of view this as another consolidation price base here, although it definitely doesn't meet the kind of standard requirement for a flat base. And overall, corrected from 124.50 down to 105.50, find support near the 50 SMA. This is a bonus. It does have a history of respecting its key moving averages, the 21 EMA here, a 21 EMA here, and then once again along this right side of this base. And overall, this move right here, this breakout on this day, up 7.45% on above average volume, 50% above average, really indicates to me that there's some power behind this move. And then the next 2 days, it really does exactly what you would hope it to do. It kind of consolidates for 2 different days, finds support at the prior pivot, and gives you another chance to get into the stock if you didn't buy it on the breakout. And then a super powerful move on Thursday, a gap up and go, and then a follow-on breakout day on Friday. So there's a lot of power and volume coming to the stock, which I view as a strong positive. Now, taking everything into account, I do not view that this is an optimal risk-reward entry right here, right then, on this coming Monday, simply because it's way extended from the prior pivot. You can see it's all the way up at 141 from the pivot at 124.50. And personally, I like to buy within 2% of that pivot. For me, that just gives me kind of more confidence that I won't be shaken out from kind of a natural reaction. So as for an entry here, I'll wait for maybe some inside days, a slow pullback maybe to the 10 SMA if you're kind of a faster, more advanced trader here. Or for a more kind of conservative buy, you could wait for the 21 EMA to catch up to the price. And as we've seen from the past, the character of this stock is to bounce nicely and pull back on low relative volume to that moving average. And then from that point, it does present a pretty good low risk entry where you can really manage your risk. So the key for me is always managing my risk. And for AMAT, I think you do have to wait for some type of pullback on low relative volume to kind of manage that properly and make sure you aren't just stopped out because of a natural reaction. And I think that would present a very good low risk, high reward entry into this potential leader. And overall, fundamentally and technically, I like this stock. I think it's a potential leader going forward if the QQQ continues to follow through. And I love how strong the overall semiconductor group has been as well. So that's pretty much it for the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy, please go ahead and leave a like down below and subscribe if you are new. And also let me know down below in the comments kind of 1 or 2 more stocks that you'd like me to kind of do a whole video about in the coming weeks. So that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching once again, and I'll see you guys in future videos.